Hi, everybody. DJ Yoakley here with a special guest on the Columbiana Baseball Coaches Corner. That means we are speaking to none other than the head skipper of the Clippers. He is Ryan Wolf. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. A very weird circumstance here in 2020. Everybody's dealing with it. How are things going in Clipperville with everything with coronavirus and COVID-19?
Well, I mean, like everybody else, we're kind of shut down right now. It's tough. I'm trying to keep communication with my kids, doing some different things. I have a Twitter poll going right now for their favorite baseball movie. I've been just doing some different things. Every once in a while, I'll send a video out. I just recorded one, actually. I'm going to send out after we're done here, just to keep it light. Know that I'm thinking about them, that it's on our minds, but there's so many other things. All our players are dealing with the online school that's totally new. So baseball is part of their lives. It's a big part, but they have a lot of other things that they have to deal with. So I want to know that we're still here. I'm here for anything any of our coaches are. But as for baseball activities, we're not allowed to do anything specific, but I did some drills and some videos, and I send them some stuff that they can kind of do on their own. Some of them have siblings and dads and moms that want to go out with them, so that's good. But like the park's shut down, so they can't really use the field, and that's a little bit tougher because being in a town, there's not as much green space for them to go out and play.
Right. And I guess this is a really interesting because this is a different generation. This is one that they're constantly, their attention's being pulled at many different directions. How important is it for you as a coach and as a staff to keep them engaged in Columbiana baseball?
It's pretty important. You're right, because there's a lot of different things. It'd be easy to get sidetracked and easy to listen to the people that say there's no way that we're going to play. There's no way school's going to go back. I'm an optimist. I believe that we have a good shot, that we're going to be playing some sort of Columbiana baseball at some point this year. So I want him to believe in that. I want him to feed off my energy and not get down on a lot of other things. What's hard too is a lot of them are used to going to facilities to hit and to throw and working with other coaches, and they're not used to going outside and just finding some spots to build their own mound and measuring out 60 feet 6 inches to do those things. So for us, it's kind of showing them some things they can do at their house and keeping their minds, but knowing that this is not the most important thing going on right now for us, like Columbiana baseball. There's a lot of other things.
I love that you're an optimist. What are some of the things that some of these players will take away, that learning a little bit about themselves and having to kind of hold themselves accountable to making themselves baseball ready?
Well, we talk a lot about leadership throughout everything that we do. I want to build leaders. Like, the records don't matter to me. It's what type of person you're going to be when you leave our program. So there's adversity here that none of us have ever experienced. Even myself, I'm a baseball guy. There's no baseball right now, so it's hard to get myself motivated sometimes. So I'm trying to find ways. I think it's a lot of self-reflection on what the game means to them, and what type of person and player, and if we when we go back, when we're together, there's going to be people that are counting on each other, and some of that accountability to other people is important. Knowing that the workouts that I do on my own, if I'm just sprinting just in my yard or down the street, it'll play a role down the road. And the more of us that do it, the better. And I know they have like a group chat and they're talking a lot, and they're keeping themselves as part of a team as much as they can.
I love that you're a team guy. You say that the records don't matter, but when you see the new look of the EOAC and some of the teams that departed, namely Toronto, you guys automatically turned into probably the favorites to win the league with what you have coming back. Talk to me about how much frustration, if at all, comes with the territory so far.
More of the frustrations is not playing baseball. Like the EOAC, I liked our chances. I thought we had a very competitive and a really good team, have a really good chance of making a run with the league. And I thought we had a good chance of making a run into the tournament. And, that's the more disappointing thing. But it's for the seniors. I feel really bad for what they're experiencing right now. And, they're going to learn some life lessons that are tough, that none of us want to know. But I want them to know that I'm here to try to help them. I don't have the answers at all because I didn't go through it before.
Right.
But when it comes to games in the OAC, Toronto was gone. They were great. I like Toronto being in there. They were a state champion. We were the last ones to beat them last year. They provided a lot of competitiveness, but the league as a whole last year was really, really good. So I think it's on its way up. There were a ton of Division I players that were either that left or are still on the teams right now. And that's something that we were pretty proud of as a league last year.
You mentioned your seniors. Your heart goes out to them. Talk about this senior group and what they mean to the program and what they mean to you.
Well, we actually have 8 seniors out this year. So we had 4 juniors last year, and we grabbed 4 more guys this year. But our Chase Franken, who is a 4-year starter for us. Hunter Zettner, Ryan Foss, 3-year starters. Matt Mazie has been a contributor on the mound for 3 years. Those guys have worked really hard, and they do a lot of other things, football and basketball, and they've been very successful. And they were really looking forward to continuing that this year, to do the things that they've done together. And then a couple of other guys, Carter Pasco and Quentin Cross, who have been Clipper baseball players in the past, but due to some other things decided not to play the last year or two. They were out. And then Jacob Cross, our quarterback, hadn't played baseball since he was young, wanted to come pitch and was doing stuff in the off season and working really hard. And then another senior, Hunter Makel, who played at Crestview as a freshman, transferred to Columbiana a couple years ago and decided to come out and working really hard and really getting back into it. And then, cut out from under them. Our last day, we have 28 players, and we had all 28. We were able to scrimmage. It was beautiful out on that last Thursday, and something that just seeing the energy and also like the unknown, not knowing what was coming, was tough.
How exciting is it? I mean, I know you're a member of the football staff. You do a lot of stuff on the basketball program as well, and of course, you're the head skipper for the baseball team. How cool is it to see these kids come out their senior year, because maybe in another sport they congealed a little bit. They found themselves, and they don't want to be away from their buddies for too long. I mean, we saw the success on the football field the last 2 years with Columbiana. We obviously saw the EOAC champion basketball team, and again, you were the favorites to move into the baseball championship and hang that banner. Is it cool to watch it as a coach, as part of being a teacher in Columbiana, see these kids kind of come together and rally, even if they haven't played the sport for a couple of years?
Yeah, it's great because they want to play for each other. With the success we've had in football and then basketball this year, and then even some other sports, it's fun to watch, see them grow. This is my 6th year at Columbiana, so this is one of my few classes I've seen all the way through, and just to see how they've grown, and then we've added new people throughout the mix. Like I said, we have a transfer and that's been at the school a couple years, but he's become friends, and now you see the excitement. And they want to keep playing for each other. It's no more just like about individual accolades, especially at this point. It's like, hey, let's enjoy our senior season. We're going to have a good team. We like each other. Let's go play for each other.
What are the challenges that you thought you would have this year, and what were you really going to hang your hat on as your strength?
Challenges, pitching is always one, especially with the compressed schedule and rain and those sort of things. But I thought we were pretty deep, so it was just a matter of throwing strikes. At the plate last year is where we really struggled, so that was a big focus for us. We changed some things that we did in the off season, and then the 3 weeks that we had in practice, the way we attacked hitting, just to be able to score more runs, because the only way to win the game is score more runs. So until we actually did it, that was going to be a challenge for me. I liked our lineup. I liked how it was really coming together, and we had a lot of speed, a lot more speed than we've had, and a lot of power. Especially in the middle of the lineup. So I like that. Strength wise, Chase Franken is going to he already owns a ton of school records. Going to continue to break school records. He's a YSU commit. He is somebody that we were really counting on at the top of the order on the mound at shortstop. But we have a number of other players, like I mentioned, some of the seniors. But Brady Dixon behind the plate, we had him for 13 games last year because the transfer rule. But we would have him for a full season. But behind the plate, he plays some first, he pitches, plays third. But he was going to be probably our 3-hitter, and he definitely adds a lot of pop in the middle of the lineup. A couple sophomores, Riley McElwain and Zach Pleska on the mound, and then their sticks at the plate. They had some varsity action last year, and then a couple other juniors. Tyler Anderson's a 3-year starter at second, and Logan Hoshar was very successful last year for us, especially defensively. He was going to see a lot of time at third and then some at short. Just all around, we were pretty deep from seniors to juniors to sophomores, and I really like the makeup of our team, from speed, from power, from hit for contact, and just our pitching depth.
You and I have known each other for a while, and I know you're not afraid to go toe-to-toe with anybody. But when you saw Ursuline and Canton Central Catholic that are out of your district, was there a little bit of excitement knowing that you knew that obviously there were some teams to beat, but you probably figured there was going to be a collision course with the team down the road in South Range?
Yeah, it's nice when you move a team like Canton Central Catholic, who has such a, their baseball, because I was at Massillon Perry for 3 years, so I know a lot about Canton Central Catholic and like the history. And I'm a West Branch guy, so we're in that Canton range. So I've known a long time about how good they are and the type of program. But I've enjoyed playing them. We played them the last couple of years. We knocked them off
Yes,
in
you
the
did.
tournament 2 years ago, and we played them in the regular season. I like playing games like that, but also, for our kids, like knowing a lot of our opponents. That are in our district. Our district's really tough. We lose those, but then we gain a district champion in Springfield moved
Yep.
in. So it doesn't get any easier. In South Range, they're state champions 2 years ago, and all those players are still on the team. They're one heck of a team. So I was really looking forward to seeing how we matched up. And one thing about baseball, especially in a one loss tournament, is that the ball's got to bounce your way a little bit. And I feel that we had the depth and some of those things to really challenge those guys.
Coach, let's step outside the lines for just a moment. Let's talk about some of your role models when you were growing up through the game. What coaches really inspired you to be a coach at this level?
Honestly, my all-time favorite coach is Jim Lau. He was the head football coach at West Branch for a long time, and just watching the way he treated us, even after, as a player, I knew a lot about what he did, but after I went to college, and I played at John Carroll, so I would come back a lot, and the way he treated me and the things that he offered, and I know he wasn't my baseball coach, but the things that he did and the success that he had really kind of motivated me to keep going, to get into this profession. I was a baseball guy, but I was a football guy too, so that's kind of the who kind of pushed me the most to be the type of coach that I needed to be.
And who are some of your motivators now away from the game?
Well, honestly, my dad still is. He passed away in 2015, but everything that he did for me in the game, every game that he came to, when I got the job at Columbiana, he was my field guy. He was there every single day, making sure that we played. And a lot of the things that I do are still to honor him. That I knew that he would never be okay for a nice day and us not playing. The rain was not an excuse. So I make sure that's still the case, whether it's varsity or JV. If it's going to be a nice day, it's not raining at 1 o'clock, we're going to do everything that we can to play. A few years ago, it snowed in the morning. The field was covered. We were one of the few teams that play. And, that still motivates me. He's a guy that still pushes me. Even though it's been 4 years since, I've got to be with him, he's still there every single day with me.
I love it, man. I love it. And obviously, the prayers is always, no matter what or how long it is, it's always something that's never easy to talk about. So thank you for taking the time on that. A couple more questions with Ryan Wolf, the head baseball coach at Columbiana. Coach, I know you're a media guy, a tech guy inside the classroom. Mm-hmm. What kind of technology are you absolutely salivating over the last couple of years in regards to baseball?
Well, I bought the Diamond Kinetic swing tracker this year, and really trying to learn it. It really gives us some really good feedback with video, and then our kids want to know about their launch angles and exit velocity, and it's kind of, we can say they hit the ball hard, but now to be able to show them and then be able to see some of the contact points and their trigger times is something that I think is very helpful, especially down the road as we learn it. We're looking forward to using it outside. We haven't really had that ability yet. Just because of the way things fell, and for us just trying to learn the technology. But to me, that is one of the biggest things, is for them to get that feedback on their swings, because it's really hard. Swings are there's a right way you could tell them there's a right way, but without showing them, it's really hard. And that they're all different, and that's a good thing too, as long as that barrel's getting through the zone and make an impact at the right point is kind of what we're looking at. So it doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you're getting there. And that's something I'm continuing to look at, in better ways to use that technology and get the kids access to it.
This is one of my favorite questions, so we'll end on it. Obviously, your 6th year with the program, you said, and you've got a lot more to go, as you're a young man in an old man's game. So talk to me about what your favorite part of coaching and teaching is, this group of young men, and of course the young ladies that you also teach in the classroom.
There's so much. Just the energy they bring, that gets me going every single day. So even if there's a day that I might not be into it as much. They are. And the one thing about baseball that's fun about practice is, like, as a coach, you get to play the game while you're practicing. So whether you're throwing, whether you're hitting to them, that's all the game. And I could hit ground balls for hours. I could pitch to them for hours as long as my arm would hold up. I do during the spring, and then in the summer I can't throw anything. But it's the same thing with my back. I can't walk in the summer, but that's okay because I'm just hitting, and that energy, it makes me feel young. It makes me feel like I'm in the game with them. And once the game starts, my decisions are pretty small, just some lineup things and some stuff to deal with stealing. But I take a lot of what they want. I think that's one thing I've learned the last few years is I got to really talk to the kids and what do they know, what do they like, what motivates them, because that's what we need. It's not from me, it's from them. And if they can lead the team and they can take the team, then we can go as far as all the way to Columbus. Well, Canton, or I'm sorry, Akron now.
Akron, yep.
It doesn't, it's on them and it's their team. And I just want to be a part of it. And I'm glad they allow me to do it. And one of the things that we talked about is it's kind of an honor to be a part of it as a coach. Like, all of us, our coaches played before, whether it was high school, some in college, and it's an honor to do it. And we're appreciated for the opportunity every single day. And they should be too, to get that opportunity to play, especially now. I think knowing that, hey, it's not always there, even though it was 50-something sunny today and we had a game at Ursuline, we didn't get to play. And sometimes that stuff can get taken away. So appreciate the opportunities that we have every single moment that we have them. And, I was out before we got on here playing with my 6-year-old son and, enjoying baseball any way that I can. And, I think our kids the same thing. And that makes me look forward to the future too, that I can figure out ways to help make them feel better about the game and better about themselves, and take this as a learning situation and move forward.
Coach Ryan Wolf of the Columbiana Clippers, thank you so much for your time, and fingers crossed that we'll see you on the field here pretty soon.
Hopeful. Okay. Thank you, Coach. Thanks.